Now, it's not that you aren't to be active in the Lord. You are. You must be. He commanded it. And you can only fulfill your calling that way, but that is still not the center. The center is what is happening with Mary. Because everything you do for the Lord has got to come out of the presence of the Lord. Martha has an attitude. Notice in John 11, she also has an attitude when her brother died and Messiah comes, and she says to the Lord, he wouldn't have died if you came on time. This is a type A personality. Probably intense, probably perfectionist. You weren't on time. She's telling the Lord he's not on time. She probably does everything by the clock, and so it seems like this is a person who actually managed her time well. It seems like that, but it's not really the case. She's rushed. She's anxious. She has no peace. She has no time. But listen to the Lord's answer. But the Lord said, Martha, Martha, you are worried. You're worried. You're preoccupied by so many things. But only one thing is necessary. Miriam has chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Now, in that itself, there are keys here, crucial for your life. First, when it says Martha was preoccupied, the original word in the Greek is perispao. The word peri, or the root peri, perimeter. It means that which is all around. We have an English word, peripatetic, which means simply something that's all over the place. We get the word peripheral. That's not the main point. It's just peripheral. It's the periphery. So notice what it's saying. Martha is being, and it actually means she's dragged all around. It seems like she's in control, but she's really not. When you're so rushed all the time, you are not in control. You're caught up. You're being dragged, even if it's your fear, your whatever it is, you're being dragged. And it's not only that she's dragged, but the Greek says she's dragged all over the place, the perimeter. She lost the center. She lost the purpose. She lost the whole point, and she is all focused on the hors d'oeuvres. She lost the point of the Messiah. The point wasn't the preparations for the Lord. The point was the Lord's already here. He's in the house, and you're still preparing for him. She's living in the perimeter. And she's living all around, and that's one of the things that so eats up our time is we're going dragged by all these things that are not the center, that are not the purpose or the highest thing for your life. It happens in religion without God. It ends up often, man always tends to move away from the center, move away from the purpose, and then get lost in a million other things. You can look at church after church, I'm talking about denominations, where they added and got their other focus. The Lord is the center. They lost the whole thing. And you could even be doing things that are right things, but you're not doing it right. You can be singing about the Lord and working about the Lord and moving about the Lord, doing things about the Lord. That's part of it. We need to. But the problem is your walk can become about the Lord when it has to be the Lord. Not about the Lord. About is all around. But the Lord is the ultimate thing. Yes, we are to talk about the Lord and do it, but the ultimate thing is you and the Lord. He's in the house. The Lord is in the house. And Martha's still focusing on the preparation. She's living in the preparation when he's there. The periphery for her has become the center, and the center has become the periphery. Now, it's not that you aren't to be active in the Lord. You are. You must be. He commanded it. And you can only fulfill your calling that way, but that is still not the center. The center is what is happening with Mary. Because everything you do for the Lord has got to come out of the presence of the Lord. Now, it would seem that the preparation is good. Well, it would have been. It would have been good if God told her to do that. And then once he came, that she left the other things that means nothing now, where the Lord is in your house. In the King James, it says, he says to her, Martha, thou art careful. But that's not exactly how we would say it here now. What it means is you're full of cares. The word can be translated as you are full of anxiety, Martha. You are anxious. And it also means distracted. Now you think, here I'm doing the things for the Lord, and he's saying, no, you're distracted because it's not me anymore. Wow. Living like this, rushed and running around even, doesn't lead to peace. And it leads to a spirit where there's never enough time, never enough this, I'm running, I'm desperate. And also he says to her, you are troubled. The Greek word is torbazo. Try it. Torbazo. Now think about it. Maybe you can get something there. Turbo, engine, stirs things up, disturbs things. The word disturb. I am perturbed, turbulent. It means you're like a stormy ocean. You don't have peace, because when you live like that, you are not going to live in peace. He says you're troubled about many things, but only one thing is needed. Only one thing is required, he says. And even, the word is, only one thing is required of you. Only one thing is important, is what he's saying. Only one thing, that word can also be translated business. It's our business, is what Mary's doing, is our business. Miriam has chosen the good part, and it shall not be taken away from her. Now, I've mentioned that there's a movie coming out about Richard and Sabina Wurmbrand at the beginning of November, which I haven't seen it, but I recommend if it's about their story. They were here at the end of their lives. We were blessed. But I was with him in a house, and people would come just to sit at his feet. This is a man who's a great saint of God, one of the great saints, and his wife, Sabina as well, who were in prison for their faith in the communist countries and all that. But people would just come and sit at his feet. I remember once we were having dinner with him. If those of you who know Gary, he was with me as we're having dinner with Richard Wurmbrand. And everybody's a long table, and everybody's lifting up their fork about to eat, and he says, well, I remember when I was in prison, everybody puts their fork down. We're waiting, okay, finishing, everybody lifts up their food again. And I never forget how I don't have forks down. And then, okay, waiting, okay, we're about to eat again, almost eating. Then was the time and forks go down. What he had to share was more important than the food. And we knew it, and we were blessed. We lost weight, we starved, but we were blessed. Mary knew the better part wasn't about the food, it was being in Messiah's presence. And every word that comes forth from him. Now we're going to take what we have seen here in this event at Bethany and open up some biblical keys of time management to apply to your life. There are several different realms we can live in, and that people do, and things that can make it crystal clear. Those who study how people use their time and how they try to have people become more effective, they kind of categorize it, and actually you can see this in the Bible. Here are the foundations of it. Number one is the urgent of your life. The urgent. Okay, that's number one. Number two is the important things of your life. Number three is the non-urgent. And number four is the non-important. And from that, you get the categories of what you're spending your time on. One, that which is urgent and important. Two, that which is not urgent and not important. Number three, that which is urgent but not important. And number four, that which is important but not urgent. Now, I'd add a fifth one, that which is sinful, which is clearly against the will of God. You want to waste your life and waste your time? You can put that in the category of not urgent and not important, but it's also really anti-important and anti-urgent because it's anti-time. Sin will take away your time. This is Jonathan Cahn. Thanks for watching. The Josiah Manifesto and all my books you can get anywhere, Amazon, wherever books are sold. Shalom.